Is it the same YouTube link?
Oh
Why
man.
is my computer running so slow? I need to do something about my memory. It should just run.
Yeah, it should be a different YouTube link. Sorry about that. We're back.
All right. I'm gonna go to the other YouTube link. Hold on. My computer is running so slow. I need to get rid of like memory.
Don't drink and drive.
I'm a tweeter from the Apollo account that we're live.
I tried to record the podcast and I stopped the live recording.
Okay, wait. I'm not seeing it. Hold on. Oh, it says that we're live. Okay, I see it now.
Good to go?
Yep. Hold on. I'm getting the link. Put it into my tweet. All right, I'm tweeting it.
Let's try that one more time. All right. 3, 2, 1. I'm recording on my end as well. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the One Take Podcast, folks. Episode 60, a nice round, even number. And because of that, we are bringing to you live and in person a Inception review, a movie that is fantastic, and I will not hear any other debates about it. Tej is canceled.
We'll get there.
Yeah, so thank you for those of us from Apollo Houston joining us on Twitch, on the One Take Podcast YouTube account. Go follow those accounts. We really appreciate your time and streaming us. I know it's late. My body betrayed me yesterday. This was supposed to be a yesterday thing. My head was splitting in half. But hey, we're good. Everything's fine.
We back, and we're going to talk Inception, which obviously will make your head feel better.
For sure.
That's the best thing for a migraine, is talking about Christopher Nolan movies.
I think half the reason I had a migraine yesterday was because of the sound. Just so loud. Holy shit, this movie is loud.
All Nolan movies are loud.
Yeah. So Inception. Let's just get the general consensus of what people think this movie is. Inception came out in 2010. It's rated PG-13, has a 2-hour and 28-minute runtime, as Nolan movies do. It's long. Has an 8.8 on IMDb, rated the number 13 movie of all time by fans on IMDb.
Jesus.
It's
Come on.
The synopsis is a thief who steals corporate secrets. A thief who steals corporate secrets through the use of dream sharing technology is given the inverse task of planting an idea in the mind of a CEO. Written and directed by Christopher Nolan, stars Leonardo Dicaprio in the most just non-character actor Leonardo DiCaprio movie ever. He's just playing Leonardo DiCaprio.
Just be
cool guy.
White guy. Yeah.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, now Elliot Page, formerly Ellen Page when this movie came out. Tom Hardy, Ken Watanabe, Cillian Murphy. I could never pronounce that right. Tom Berenger, Marion Cotillard as the scariest person on the planet. And of course, Michael Caine, as always. He has like 2 lines in this movie. But he had to be in it. It's a Christopher Nolan joint. This movie was a hit, man. This made so much money. Good Lord. $160 million budget off the back of The Dark Knight. So Nolan's getting his way at this point. $836 million worldwide gross. This movie for a 2-hour and 28-minute dream romp made so much money.
Yeah, it's a dream heist. I don't know how to describe this movie other than that.
Exactly. Let's see what it has. It has a 74% on Metacritic, which is actually kind of high for Metacritic. It won 4 Oscars, including Best Achievement in Cinematography for Wally Pfister. Sorry. Best Achievement in Sound Mixing, Best Achievement in Sound Editing, Best Achievement in Visual Effects. It was nominated for Best Motion Picture of the Year, Best writing original screenplay. Best achievement in music written for a motion picture by Hans Zimmer, which I feel like he kind of maybe got robbed on that. And best achievement in art direction. Really quick, just to amuse myself here, I want to see who won besides Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what would have been better.
This was nominated for screenplay or won.
It was nominated. You know what? Best original screenplay. You know what did win, and obviously it should have won the Social Network score.
Oh yeah.
The score of this film is really good, but
Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, which I can see that.
Yeah,
I think they made the right call
tough
there.
year to be in that category.
Absolutely. Let's see here. That was a great year for the Oscars, by the way. I mean, the King's Speech still won, so I mean, people will that, but
just about to say that.
Has an 87% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, 91% audience score. Smart, innovative, and thrilling, Inception is the rare summer blockbuster that succeeds viscerally as well as intellectually.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
Teed says no.
Face, bro. Oh
Teed says
that's a ridiculous. No. That's absolutely ridiculous. I want to go last. I want you to say what you think of this movie first.
I'm going to say this: disliking popular things doesn't make you an interesting person.
I am not the devil's advocate person. I am not the person who dislikes popular things. I'm obsessed with pop and pop culture, but this particular film is not.
I was going to say, let's go with King Pop Culture. Dex, go ahead.
Yeah, I am the ultimate pop culture participator, but I somehow didn't see this movie in the theaters when it came out. I was late to this. I was like, that sounds dumb. I don't know why everybody's so excited about it. And then I watched it a couple of years later, and I was like, oh, yeah, I get it. Watching it, I watched it again, like in pieces yesterday and finished it today. It's still really good. It's still really fun. It's not as smart as it thinks it is. And I think we're all kind of seeing the seams of Christopher Nolan movies at this point. Like with Tenet, we all saw it. Like watching this movie again, it's like, oh, he's doing the same exact thing that he did in Tenet years later. But it's still really fucking cool. Like the hallway fight scene is still dope. Them like slowly falling off a bridge in a van into like a river or whatever they fell into was still dope. Like the concept is still dope. And if you just kind of shut your brain off and just like let the movie be smarter than you, it's still like really good. But if you want to like pick holes in it or like ask questions, it's like things don't really make sense. I don't know what this means or what it's about, but it's still a great time. All the actors did their thing and it's fun. They're cool. Everybody's movie is really hot. Like just literally every person in this film looks incredible. Even Michael Caine. But yeah, I love this movie. I give it like an A- now. I think the first time I saw it, it would have been an A+, but it's an A- now.
All right, T, do you want to go or you want me to go?
Nope, I want you to go first.
All right, sorry, I'm tweeting out links. All right, so the thing about this movie, for me, based on nostalgia alone, did you give it a grade, Dex?
A-.
You said A-.
A-, okay. I got to go with an A solid 95, because, yeah, you're right. It's kind of coming apart at the seams a little bit with Christopher Nolan. Like, what if the movie was in reverse? All right. We get it, dude. You're trying to do stuff. I mean, and I feel this way about Dunkirk. Like, there was no reason to make Dunkirk the way that he made Dunkirk. People love it, but it's the same sort of thing. When I saw this movie, now looking at it, and I watched a little bit of The Matrix last night too. Some of the stuff that they were doing in this movie with effects and stuff, they were doing with The Matrix in 1999. So effects wise, it's still brilliant, and it's still something we really hadn't seen in theaters. But as far as the story goes, it's a little convoluted. You gotta really trust what the actors are saying to you. You got to believe everything that Leo's saying is true. Don't ask questions. Shut up. Don't just stop talking. Just shush. and let the pretty people explain dreams to you. But based on nostalgia alone, I remember being, and for those of you watching, Dex and I are children. I remember being 15 in the theater watching this, and this is baby's first like brain bending cinema, where I was like, oh, like, oh no, what's going on? What is this? And then just to skip all the way ahead when we talk about it later, when the final scene with the top, that drove pop culture. I'm not kidding. Months, the entire summer. This came out. This was a summer blockbuster, and it was nominated for all these Oscars and stuff. Rightfully so, especially technically. But it was like, is Leo gonna get nominated for an Oscar for Inception? No, for Inception.
What?
But there was that talk, man. I guarantee you. And then there was just all this hype around Christopher Nolan because there was that we knew him as the Batman guy, right? I mean, film people knew him as Memento. And of course, The Prestige had come out before this. But off the back of a blockbuster like The Dark Knight, that just still is everyone's best film, like superhero film in their headcanon. But like the hype that this gave Christopher Nolan, I feel like this film gave Christopher Nolan, even besides Dark Knight, the agency to do whatever he wanted to. And after this film, we've started to see the Christopher Nolan that we know now. But all of that being said, this film still slaps. This film rules, man. I don't know what to. It was so cool. It's so fun to watch, TJ. I don't know what you're talking about. That hallway scene is so incredible and so fun. And this is the perfect use of slow motion. Eat your heart out, Zack Snyder. It was just all these things combined. And it doesn't really let you rest that often. For a 2-hour and 28-minute movie, it's pretty snap. Like, I feel like it moves pretty quickly.
Yeah, because you're constantly like either learning new important information or like the hallway is flipped upside down. So like you're like, what the fuck is happening?
Right. And by the time you get out of it for the first, I remember it's whiplash. You're like, what? All right, let's break that down. Now it's kind of like, all right, we've been here. Inception is now a term. It was never really a term. It's now just a thing that people use as like jokes.
Yeah,
or
people use it incorrectly to refer to the wrong thing, but you know, like,
yeah,
still.
It just is one of those things that lives so rent free in my mind and has for going on 11 years now that I can't help but still be blown away by this movie. And now maybe that's a little unfair to going back and looking at it in retrospect, but this movie is still, I think, leagues better than even Interstellar.
Oh, for sure.
I haven't seen Tenet yet, but I like this movie. I know people are going to get mad at me in the comments. I like this movie better than Prestige. To me, I like this movie better than 2 Batman films. It just holds this place in my heart that I can't give it below an A. You know, I just can't. Sorry, it's incredible filmmaking. The story is convoluted. Let's go, Tej.
I can't believe that you don't enjoy this film at all.
I will acknowledge one thing about this film. It is very, very good looking film. Like, it's 100% an achievement visually in terms of the way the film is edited, in terms of the way the film looks. The scene where they go to the final level that's like he built, when you're seeing like the structures crashing down on the beach, like that is so good looking. I saw this movie in theaters, and you cannot take away from what they were able to accomplish with the way this film looks. But the main problem, there are a lot of problems with Inception. The main problem with Inception, there's only 2 things that this movie can be, and it is bad at being both of them. It's either an action film, which means that you have to look at these set pieces and realize that these set pieces are boring as hell, other than the one that's in the hotel, which is really cool because of the gravity effects. But the snow, the whole James Bond and the snow thing, boring as shit.
That was
whole-
a
the
Call
whole-
of Duty level.
The whole like we're gonna sit in this car and a train's gonna drive through and everybody all of a sudden has guns. None of that stuff has to exist in this film if the film was just about these dreams, right? If there were these people, these projections in the film that are going to attack you, they didn't actually have to have guns and military equipment. They could have literally just been like on some blood sport shit and walking out to people and punch them in the face. But the reason why it fails as an action film is because there's no stakes in what you're seeing physically. Everybody that dies in this film doesn't actually die in real life. So you're seeing people die like an action movie, but those
they
people
say you
aren't
can't.
actually dying. Yes, they say that you can, but it still doesn't create stakes because everybody you see die in this film survives the film.
You don't know that until the end.
You do, but you know, like you know that all the projections are people that don't exist and don't matter, and you know that the main characters when they're dying are just waking back up. So automatically, the action part of the movie fails because when you go into an action movie, you're seeing people get beat up or killed, and none of that exists in the film. So, okay, maybe it's not an action movie, even though there's like a million action set pieces. Maybe it's like a psychological thriller. And the reason it fails as a psychological thriller is because the characters are flat and there's literally no emotional weight to the film. So you have this storyline of this guy who's lost his family or at least lost his wife. You literally see his wife commit suicide in this film. And it's like, there's no emotional weight. There's no tear-jerking moment. And you have all these talented actors and actresses on set, and they don't ever make us feel for any of these people because there's no emotion in this film. There's literally no emotion in this film. All the characters are super flat. They're all archetypes. None of them are interesting. And I think from a writing perspective, it really fails on both of those perspectives. The reason why people like Inception is because the concept is cool, which it's objectively cool, but like the concept of Final Destination is cool, or the concept of The Purge is cool, but no one comes to you and says, "Oh my God, have you seen the latest Purge movie? It's a masterpiece."
Those movies also
like
stink.
the concept.
What are you doing?
This movie stinks too.
No.
There's nothing happening here. Okay, and the main problem with this movie, what is this movie about? I don't mean what the plot of this movie is. I mean, like, what is this movie about? Why was this movie written? What is this movie trying to elicit from the viewer? It is literally a movie about itself. The only thing you're supposed to be thinking about when you leave this movie is the movie. Like, you're not supposed to be thinking about your role or where you would come into this movie or some societal conversation or some higher level thing. Like in The Matrix, you're not just leaving thinking about how cool The Matrix was. You're leaving thinking about, oh, I understand that they were trying to make a point. The only point that's trying to be made with this film is that I'm Christopher Nolan, I'm cool as shit, and I'm a filmmaker, and we're going to make a movie about how filmmakers put ideas into your head.
Duh.
And it's just
I love that.
It's like such a self-referential circle jerk. I don't know how that part connects to like the average person, because most people aren't movie nerds or like people who work in the movie industry. So it is a credit to him that was able to connect with people, because at the base of it, this film is about nothing but the film. Like, it's about the film. Like, look how cool this thing is that I made. That's what it's about. And it's
that was the thing in the theater. I guarantee you the average Joe that doesn't go to 1,000 movies a year like we do was like, what the fuck? This is incredible.
Exactly. In which there are cool moments of this film, but like as a storytelling device, it just doesn't. It's not even that the plot is convoluted, because that's every Nolan movie for more or less. Like, it's fine. You're able to figure out what happens in the movie. It's not like you leave the movie, you don't know what happened, other than the kind of ending they leave on the cliff, which is a really cool way to end in the movie. That's probably my favorite shot of the film. Fade out from the Leo thing. Leo's over there with the kids. You can hear them in the background, but really you're just seeing this top. That is a completely genius way to end a movie, where the main character is like questioning his own reality at all times, right? Objectively amazing way to end the movie. But the movie, I just don't think that the movie has any emotional stakes. So that moment is only cool as a thought exercise, but it's not actually cool no one leaves the movie theater happy that Leo found his kids, because we don't know those fucking kids, and we don't care about Leo's family. We literally don't care what happens to him or anybody else in this movie. And I think that's why it fails. So I would say like it's like a B-, and it bores me to tears. I've probably seen it 4 times now. It bores me to tears every time, because I cannot find any path to go on other than this looks really cool. That's the only path that I can take to having an enjoyable experience of this film.
What I will give you is, watching this movie the second time, I was like, I forgot pretty much every character motivation that's in this movie because it just does not matter.
There's only like 3.
Yeah, like this guy, like being
Everybody else in there
his
is just there to
father
be paid.
and all this other shit. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about this. Like, I don't care about this dude's dad at all. Like, I don't care about this dude's like energy empire or whatever it is that he does. Like, I don't care about any of this bullshit. Like, I just want to talk about dreams and what's real and what's not real.
This film is also missing, like, even though there are a lot of great actors and actresses in this movie, it's really missing a signature performance. Because, like y'all said, and we all know that Leo was one of the GOATs, but we could all name 7 better Leo performances, right? We could all name better Tom Hardy performances. We could all name better Joseph Gordon-Levitt performances. It's because, like, they don't have anything to do. Like, Leo's just on set being cool. He can't do anything, man. Like, Leo has nothing to do. Like, I feel like what this movie's really missing is if you have some emotional stakes, Leo gets to shed a tear somewhere. He gets to do something amazing, but there's no one.
His wife jumped out a window, T.
Yes,
what are we doing?
But what did you hear anybody after this film talking about? Oh my God, did you see Leo in the scene where his wife jumped? Oh my God, it was like it like hit me here. Of course it doesn't, because nobody cares about the fucking wife. Because we've seen her die. She dies like 7 times in this film.
She does
Nobody
die like
cares.
7 different times. He even shoots her, and we're just like, oh, okay.
She got shot. Like, she got thrown. Like, it's just like these aren't humans. Like, these are literally just everybody that we're seeing on screen is like a projection, which is literally the Nolan point of filmmaking and using these projections to put ideas in your head. However, what it misses is not having any emotional stakes. So even when his wife commits suicide, which should be something that you walk out of a movie theater thinking like, that was a really emotional moment in my life that I experienced in this film. You don't remember that shit when you leave the film. You're just like, holy shit, that hallway scene was amazing. They were floating and shit. Like, you don't remember that shit. Like, I think that's my biggest problem with the film. And I know that Nolan can write characters that are more 3D. And I know that he can write characters with some real emotional stakes because I've seen other Nolan films where he's able to accomplish it. Dunkirk, even though it's a weird movie making choices all over Dunkirk, I still felt like he was able to give me some human story and some emotion out of that film that just doesn't exist in this film in any way, shape, or form.
I will say,
and Rent.
And all that for a B-. I thought you were going like F.
No, I wasn't gonna. Well, I've seen it more than once, so it can't be that bad. Like, it's not like the worst movie ever. I think my aversion to it is more that I know everybody likes it, and I'm just like, it's so easy to see what this film was really missing. He could have really made a classic. Well, he already made a classic because people love it, but like, he could have made something that was like mind-blowingly good. He was so close, and I just feel like he just had to like focus a little bit less on the dream within a dream stuff and a little bit more on the human aspects.
There's a saying or a theory that I've kind of been working on for a while. It is going to come off bad, but trust me, I'm in this camp. So don't get mad at me because I'm talking about myself.
Please don't cancel us.
Christopher Nolan makes Oscar films for dumb people.
Yeah.
And I'm in that camp where I'm like, dude, give it like 18, because I'd rather watch this than Nomadland.
Yeah.
Okay, so would I, because Nomadland was the most boring movie I've ever seen. But Nomadland is really, really good. It's just incredibly boring.
But yeah, Christopher Nolan is definitely that guy where it's like he'll give you like baby's first prestige film, like no matter like what age you are, like he can hit you with that shit. Because I have people still who talk to me and I'm like, yeah, I love movies. I like do a movie podcast, blah blah blah. Like I talk about movies all the time. They're like, oh, have you seen Interstellar? That shit is mind blowing, dude. I fucking love Interstellar.
Like, that movie fucking sucks.
Movie's ass.
How you feel about it? How you feel about Inception? I will say I feel about Interstellar. I've come off that movie so hard.
I hate Interstellar, but I hate it for very different reasons. But I hate it.
Yeah, it's like Dark Knight, Interstellar, like
Memento's the film nerd one.
Yeah, Memento. Even The Prestige is like baby's first Oscar film or baby's first prestige film.
Man, I fucking love Memento. And you do see the scenes when you go back and watch it, but I was a kid when I watched it, and it was just like the coolest thing in the world to me. Like I was a kid when I saw that, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. They're telling the movie out of order.
I will say, just getting into the movie, we've been breaking it down, and Derek Foltz, shout out, thanks for watching. He says he 100% agrees with you. Longtime guest of the podcast, Derek Foltz. He said you're 100% correct. So shit. The plot of this movie is very Republican. It's one CEO is trying to get money from the other CEO of an energy company. That's it. That's actually the plot. But we're supposed
to have done so much more with this shit. Like, you have such a cool concept for the dream within a dream and like planning an idea thing, and the only idea you can think to plant is
one corporation,
break up your company.
Yeah, like we could have had something like, you're going to save the world. Like, this company is creating a nuclear bomb that will probably lead to like nuclear technology being like readily accessible to the average terrorist.
The codes.
We need to stop. Like, there's a way that you could bring that to the ground level so that the regular Joes in the movie theater could have been like, oh, okay, I get the stakes, but like they don't fucking care if one energy company or the other energy company is like running like nobody cares. And you could tell he thought about that because the other guy literally says, hey, if you let him do this and he doesn't dissolve the company, he's basically going to have a monopoly, and that's going to be bad for the world. But we don't know why that's bad for the world as the regular people. We just think that this dude wants to be able to keep his business and his money, so he's got to get rid of the competition. Like, that's what the film is about.
This is pre-Amazon, by the way. Not technically, but like before. This is before
the Amazon that we know now.
Yeah, this is the before times where we were just like, oh, big companies.
Yeah, I mean,
now everything is a big company, but at that point, things are a bit simpler.
It could have been like starting the idea for like a revolution, or starting like something like that's like cool, instead of, oh, we're gonna plant the idea to break up your fucking.
I cannot believe that is what happened at what was in the final script of like, yeah, two big fucking energy barons are basically having a war. Like, let's do it. Like,
well, you can tell like Christopher Nolan. He writes his own scripts because I mean, I think his wife is his producing partner as well, but there is a definite, he gets final say on all of his stuff. And that's the price that I think WB pays for having this massive creative that brings it, that, say what you will about Christopher Nolan, puts asses in the seats.
They're all hits.
Yeah.
They're all hits.
Even mid-pandemic, I was like, I'm in here night one for Tenet. Fuck
right.
that.
That's also why I like Tenet. I know you haven't seen it, Roy. That's also why I like Tenet, because it was like a pared down version of Nolan realizing, like, here's what I'm good at. Here's what people care about. I'm going to cut the rest of the shit out. Like, I'm not even going to attempt to create a cognizable plot that you'll understand. I'm literally going to tell you in the film, just feel the movie. Do not try to understand what I'm doing. Just have a blast at the movie theater. And I really did have a blast at the movie theater, because I literally, once they told me that, I stopped caring about the plot whatsoever. I literally was like, I don't know what's happening. I don't care. Denzel Washington's son looks amazing on screen. Holy shit, that's the new Batman on screen. He looks awesome. And I'm just going to watch shit get blown up. And I was like, sure, whatever.
People are hot. They're on screen.
You're like 15 minutes into that movie, and he's just like, don't understand it. Just feel it. And it's like, okay, I'm with it. Let's go.
Literally the opening set piece, I'm just like, okay, that was awesome. But like, what the fuck did I just watch? I have no idea who's who or what's what. And they got masks on, so I can't hear them. And the fucking sound editing is horrendous. And so all I hear is gunshots.
Oh, that movie sounds so bad.
It sounds so bad. Awful.
That's one thing I put on Twitter about Christopher Nolan films. I put on Twitter as I'm just a man standing in front of Christopher Nolan, asking him to turn down his film just a tad, man. Just turn it down just a bit. And Brad Brown, a good friend of the podcast, he said, not even that, man. Just turn up the speaking parts a little bit.
Yes, like don't let it get blared out by Travis Scott songs and fucking like catamarans and boats and gunshots. Like, you can't hear shit in Tenet. And Tenet is louder. Tenet is somehow louder than Inception, which is a super loud movie. Even at home when I was rewatching, I was like, man, this film is loud. Like, this is a loud film, bro.
I watch things with subtitles regardless if they're in English or not. Like, I have to. And because
I can't hear without the subtitles.
Yeah, I'm deaf at this point. 26. I'm just like, what? My fiance is so annoyed by it, but like I'm just I've been doing this for so long that it's all blur. But this movie, and so I normally watch things, 70, 80 range. If I'm watching a movie on my TV, it's loud in my house. I had to turn this thing down to like 40 or 50 on my. I was just like,
movie.
whoa, just incredibly loud, and it blew me away. But like talking about the movie and talking about the technical feats of this movie, we were saying that, and because I was watching The Matrix and just watching The Matrix last night, there are a bunch of things in this movie that it looks like they did in The Matrix back in 1999, but it holds up so well, and it held up back then. Nolan uses, it feels like, as little CGI, or he blends it so well that I can't ever tell. It holds up so well, it's shocking. This movie is 11 years old now. Go back and watch a ton of movies from 2010, and you'll be like,
they look like shit.
Go back and watch the Avengers from 2010. I guarantee you'll be
it looks so
bad. Like go watch Thor: Dark World. You'll be like, what is this? But yeah, it starts out, and I took a ton of notes on this film, and I hadn't taken a lot of notes recently, but it starts out with him arriving in limbo because it's a Christopher Nolan movie. It starts at the end. But we were talking about it being loud. Hans Zimmer is at a 10 because it is immediately not the strings and the electric guitar, like it's the and you're like, fuck.
Hans Zimmer was in his fucking bag in this movie. I'm usually not the person to be like, oh wow, the score of this movie is so good. Like, I'm not paying attention. I don't give a fuck. But in this movie, like, that shit hits. That shit bangs.
We know like
he did a great job.
He did. We know like 3 composers: Hans Zimmer, Christopher Williams,
and Trent Reznor,
Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. Yeah. And that's because I know he's like, that's 9 Inch Nails. Like that's
yeah. Dude, like a lot of rappers, like indie rappers, like back in the mixtape blogger era, were like rapping over Hans Zimmer samples from this movie. There were a ton of Inception like rap samples, and that's how I found out about this movie originally. Was
I'll find the name of it.
Rapper rapping over,
but the main score of when he's arriving at the airport at the very final scene, and it kind of
that's when it finally kicks up. That thing that's the best piece of music. It's so good.
I think it's literally just called Time.
Yeah, it is.
That makes sense.
Go find it now, or listen to it when you're waking up in the morning on your way to work when the sun is like kind of coming up. You're like, all right, $1 million. Wait, like my boss can't fuck up my day today. Guarantee you.
Time from Inception, and then I forget what it's called. I think it's called like Mountains or something like that from Interstellar. It's like driving to those songs. It's like, oh shit, I'm literally in a movie right now. Like,
there's nothing good about Interstellar.
Murph, want to go home, Murph?
I'm in the bookshelf, Murph.
Oh God!
That bookshelf opened. I literally almost walked out of the movie theater. I was like, "Get me the fuck out of here!"
There's no way I would have survived watching that movie in a movie theater. Holy shit! I had to watch it at home and like break it up like across like 3 days.
Oh my God! That's when I just thought that Nolan was never going to make another good movie again. I was like, he's too successful. He loves himself too much. He's got to stop this right now.
I
really enjoyed Tenet.
I was in the talking stage with a girl that I really liked, and I asked her what her favorite movie was, and she said Interstellar. I had never seen it. I watched it, and I was like,
first of all, you should have been like, look, I'm not trying to call you stupid, but there's no way you understood that film because nobody understood that film.
There's no way this is
not
your
even to
favorite
call
movie
you
of all
stupid.
time.
I'm literally not trying to call you stupid, but your favorite movie can't be a film that you didn't understand because nobody understood it. Sorry, it just can't be.
Oh my God!
Matt Damon shows up trying to kill people. You're like, oh, I love this shit. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. When there is like too many surprise Matt Damon appearances in movies at this point. Like he knows there's too many surprise Matt Damon cameos. Where when he showed up, though, I was shocked by that. I was like, wait, what? Matt Damon
is Matt Damon.
Matt Damon is here? Because that's what you do when you see Matt Damon. It's fucking Matt Damon.
Yeah, like in fucking that Thor movie. It's like, oh shit, this is Matt Damon.
Yeah.
I love that. So this movie, I will say, Dex said it in his review. Everyone's hot. Everyone's so hot in this movie.
Everybody looks amazing.
This is like pre-fat Leo. This is still skinny fat Leo. They got the slick back hair, the three-piece suits. It looks like a Bond film when they start off in that first set piece. And that was really, rewatching it, that was really interesting because I guess now there's like 8 films in this film now that you mention it, Teach.
Yeah, he was like, I'm just gonna make 7 different action movies.
It starts off as a literal like heist film because he's sneaking out of windows, he's with a femme fatale in his room, and he's like shooting people with a sniper rifle, and then all of a sudden they're just they're asleep in the next scene. It really is disorienting and I think that's what he was going for sure.
It becomes Aladdin because he's like running through this crowded village, throwing shit at like random people.
Oh, that's later on, but yeah, it's one thing I did notice that I've never seen in a film, when he was trying to sneak around and kill those projections, which you don't know are projections at the very start. He shoots and catches the shell casing at the same time.
That was fucking badass.
I had never noticed that. That was actually a really interesting thing. But the set piece, when they do the tip, and this is the perfect use of slow motion. It bar none. I don't care when they tip him over in the bathtub, that scene is perfect looking. But to intercut that with the set piece of actual water coming in through, because Nolan was like, I don't fucking care, build it.
That like, shit looks so cool. The way that they did that, it's like, especially seeing it in a movie theater, you're just like, holy shit, man. Like, what Leo did I just walk into? That shit is awesome.
I wonder if it looks so fucking good. Everything they do in that like cityscape thing just looks incredible, and like it still pops off the screen today, like no matter what screen you watch it on.
Really, honestly, you can watch that, but that shot of him looking, it's almost become iconic now. That in the hallway scene of him looking up and the water flowing, incredible set piece. I wish I knew how they built it, but it definitely screams Nolan, because he builds all these practical sets regardless of, like, I think they built an airplane when they did Dark Knight Returns or Dark Knight Rises or whatever. It's incredible to look at, and I just want to know the shoes of the of the set designer when Nolan was like, "Look, I got an idea." He was like, "Okay, what? We need hundreds of gallons of water to flow into this room from the top."
I want the next Nolan film to start at a diner, like at a table with 2 people just having a conversation. I'm
just like a Tarantino.
He's got to stop with the opening set piece thing. Like, just trick us next time. Just literally open your movie with 2 people lying in bed sleeping. Like, you don't have to do the opening set piece anymore. But that water scene is that shit fucking bangs. That shit looks amazing. And the slow motion when he's falling into the tub. Only Leo could look that cool coming out of a tub being submerged. He just looks so cool.
Dude, watching that this time, I was like, I would be so mad. They told me I had to do that shit. Like, it just looks awful to have to.
You know how many takes they probably had to do for that too?
30 of those.
How do you not a couple times hit your head on the back of the tub like, fuck, I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah, we're not doing that shit again. You got it.
We're not doing that again. You got one.
Check the fucking gate. You got it.
Why are there no niggas in this film?
Hey, I mean,
there are like 100 projections of this film. None of them could be black. I'm sure some of them were black, but I didn't notice any black people, and I was looking for them.
Wait, so you're saying
they don't dream about it?
There were a couple.
They don't dream about us.
Even in dreams, they don't want you as their security.
They don't want us there.
They don't dream about us.
Oh my god, the rich billionaire was like, black guys as my dream security. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
You're gonna have to change that right now.
There was one black guy that Joseph Gordon-Levitt killed, so I don't know if
That's
like,
true.
Yeah, in the hallway fight.
yeah.
He got capped.
The god damn, that's funny. Oh shit. Tej, what you're saying is that you want black people killed on screen? Is that what you're saying?
I want black people to do all the stuff on screen that white people do. All
That's
of it.
true.
The good
Okay.
films, the bad films. I want to see niggas everywhere in my films. But Nolan got around to it. He was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go make the black person the star of my film."
Yeah, he had a black lead. He didn't give him a name, but he was a black lead.
He had a name. His name was the
Hero.
protagonist.
Hero. Oh, yeah.
Which was super douchey to call him the protagonist, but it's the classic Nolan move to do that.
But yeah, like something that I noticed watching this movie again after watching Tenet, and like we watched The Prestige a little while ago for the pod, I was like, Christopher Nolan has got to stop making like these just random little like plot devices or like things that he learned into the entire like plot of the movie.
What do you
Like
mean?
the Prestige is literally just a magic trick. Like the whole plot is a magic trick.
Mhm.
This like is all about like this like little dream concept that he worked up. Tenet, it's all about the reverse pincer or whatever it is. Like that's literally the plot of the movie. Like, stop doing that. Just make regular movies with regular plots. You don't have
That's
to.
not
He's
why
never
you
gonna
like Nolan.
He's never going to make a regular movie with a regular plot ever again. Ever.
He tried to make a war film and he made it about time. Why? There's no like. That's
Super
not why you
weird decision. It's literally about a war. Like you don't have to reinvent the wheel. He was like, no, it's really about time.
A story about that film. I really actually do enjoy that film more and more now that I think about it. But
The score is amazing, and it makes you feel so tense the whole time. And that's
yeah. To say that movie stars Tom Hardy and then all you see is his eyes is such a but the concept of the making it the way that he did makes, you don't have to do that. It's an interesting way to film it, and I hadn't seen a war film done like that because it all kind of and it ends up making sense at the end. Just a story about that. I took my dad to see it because he's a big war film buff, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm really interested to see it. I love airplanes, all the classic white dad shit. Like I love World War II." And he was like,
white dad.
And he was like, after we got out, he was like, I didn't like that at all. He was just like, it's just like, he's like A Bridge Too Far or like Saving Private Ryan, just where it's just straightforward. You're like, I didn't, why'd they do that? I was like, you know what? Good point.
You can tell after watching Dunkirk a couple times that literally he had the concept of what he wants to make a movie about, and then he just applied it to a historical event. Like, I want to make a movie that really is about time. Like, Dunkirk is about time, like, period. Like, that is what the film is about. It's not about war. It's literally about time, and it just happens to take place within the context of this war. You could tell they just want to make a movie about time because he's always fucking with time. Time is like something that really fascinates him, and so he's like, I'm just going to make a movie about time that happens to center around this war or this battle.
Is Christopher Nolan from the future? Is he just like
That's
where they
what's
figured out that time doesn't matter? Where they
He's
figured
giving
out
us
this whole thing?
clues. He's like, listen, guys, time doesn't matter.
It's irrelevant.
Y'all don't see it yet.
You'll get there eventually.
I feel like as we've gone on and Christopher Nolan has gotten to make more and more movies, he's just like completely stripped away, like pretending to care about like plot, characters, or like anything like that. And it's all about just like the overall concept or whatever. Cause like
It's better this way. I
you
hope
can
he
kind of
keeps
start seeing the seams of it, like with Inception, like watching it now and then like moving into Dunkirk. But then Tenet, it's like literally just the seams. He was like, I'm gonna make like this deconstructed, like it's like on Chopped when they're like, oh, I made like a deconstructed sandwich. Like, nah, fam. Like you just
When
threw some
somebody
shit on
destroys a
plate.
baseball and the cover comes out, it's like, no, I just want the cover.
Right, and you have to see Tenet. That shit is fucking fun, man.
I'm gonna watch it.
It's amazing. He just
You're
like
not gonna
didn't
know
even
what happened.
pretend to care
still don't know
about
what
all the
happened.
other shit. It's just like it just happens to you.
I couldn't tell you what happened in this film, and I've seen it twice. I still can't tell you what happened.
Along those lines, after I got done watching Inception, my buddy Connor, who is been on this podcast texted me and he's like, "Can you explain to me what the fuck happened in Tenet?" Like those exact words. And I was like, "Buddy, I haven't seen it yet, but I probably cannot."
But the
Nobody
answer is
knows
no.
what happened in Tenet. Nobody knows. Doesn't matter.
It went
It's a great
forwards,
time.
it went backwards, and now we're back.
One thing we got to talk about in Christopher Nolan films, and this has all of a sudden become just a Christopher Nolan addendum, but like Christopher Nolan, and we talked about this in the group message, has so many Christopher Nolan avatars in his movie, and this is like peak Christopher Nolan avatars. They're all Christopher Nolan avatars. Even Elliot Page is Christopher Nolan avatar in this movie. It's incredible. Leonardo DiCaprio being the biggest of them all. Like if you don't know who Christopher Nolan, Christopher Nolan looks like, he walks around in like a 3-piece suit every day. Like this man's never worn shorts, you know, like his kids had to tell him what video games were. Like it's just this sort of, it's the reason Travis Scott did the stuff for Tenet, where they're like, "Do you know who Travis Scott was?" They're like, "No, nerd." And he was like, "Fine." He just is that guy. You know what I mean? Some would call it pretentious. It probably is. But if you look in every Christopher Nolan film, and it gets progressively worse, there is a Christopher Nolan avatar. And in this, there are 5. It's incredible.
He always picks the most handsome people to be his avatar, like within the film.
Yeah, there's Tom Hardy, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Leonardo DiCaprio are all Christopher Nolan avatars in this movie. They're all wearing 3-piece suits. They all have slick back hair. It's mind-boggling.
This movie is just one giant Christopher Nolan heat check, and he came up hot. It is what it is.
45-10 for the king.
Yeah,
he probably realized at this point after this film that he could get any movie made he wants, and not only could he get it made, it's going to be a hit. And it's true. Like it doesn't matter what he makes.
Well, one thing I do appreciate about Christopher Nolan is Oscar movies for dumb people. These come out in July. You know what I mean? Peak blockbuster season. And that's cool to see movies with high concepts that come out, and it's not just Transformers shitting and farting on screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hey, I'm going to challenge you just a little bit enough. And some people may not like it. And Tej, you've unraveled this whole entire thing, but it is like, I'm going to entertain you, but I'm going to give you a little taste of high concept. You know what I mean?
It's like high art blockbuster. He literally invented the high art blockbuster.
Diving back into some of the details of the film.
I wouldn't say that. I say he copied Steven Spielberg a little bit, but yes.
That's fair.
But yeah, diving back into some of the details of the film. Can somebody explain to me this mouse shit? Like I am so lost.
And calling her Maul is so annoying. I thought it was Mo the entire. I don't know what I was like.
Can she just have a regular ass name? Can she just be Mallory or just whatever?
What's the name of Elliot Page's character in this film?
It's something stupid.
Ariadne, which is a name for something else. Hold on, I'll find it. But go ahead.
Every time they said her name, I was like, "Yo, what the fuck is that woman's name?" I don't know that woman's name at all.
And it doesn't matter. Like as you go on, which is kind of sad, but. Yeah, this whole shit with Mal, I was like, okay, she's dead. She killed herself, but she's not dead. She's in his head all the time, like the Joker in that one Batman game, like the one Arkham game. But
Ariadne was the daughter of King Mianos of Crete and his wife Pasiphae in Greek mythology. By her mother, she was the granddaughter of the sun god Helios. She is best known for her pivotal role in the myth of Theseus and the Minotaur. So basically the maze.
Oh.
Boo.
So yeah, that was Christopher Nolan. And like,
oh my God.
Anyway.
Yeah, so what the fuck happened? Somebody explain that to me. What?
So
what?
He couldn't create dreams because then Maul would basically destroy the stuff that he created in his dreams. But when
Or
he
I
would
thought
go,
it was because he went to sorry to interrupt you. I thought it was because he
okay,
went to limbos for so long that he just, which was hours and hours and hours and days and days and days, that he couldn't do it anymore because he just forgot.
wait, is that what happened? I thought it was because she wouldn't, because they say at some point, like, he can't create more worlds or more dreams because Maul wouldn't let him. Like, she would physically, she would like destroy the shit that he was making. And so he wanted to go to other people's dreams. But of course, he was bringing Maul into other people's dreams.
But there's also that thing where he goes to the in that the chemist's layer. I don't know their thing where there hundreds of people are all dreaming at one time, and they say it becomes the only way that you can dream.
Yeah,
because I don't know. So I took it as yes, that makes sense, but I took it as like he did it so much. Yeah, he did it so much. Like I can't get drunk anymore. You know what I mean? Like he did it so much that he's like the high didn't hit the same, so I gotta like.
I have done all of the sleep crack. I can't do any more sleep crack.
Sleep crack.
I took all the mescaline that I could.
But yeah, so like towards the end, it's like the reveal that he like did Inception on her, and that's how he knew it was possible or whatever. So what idea did he plant in her head? I was so confused. I was
he planted in her head that her reality at that time when they were in limbo, her reality was not real, and they needed to kill themselves to get back to their real reality,
which is true.
Which is true. So he implanted a true idea in her head. The problem was once they came back to reality, the idea was still in her head. So when she got to her reality, she still thought reality was another fake life because the idea was already in her head, and so he couldn't leave her head. So then she thought reality
she
was
needs
fake.
To kill herself again.
That's why she killed herself, and that's why she was doing reckless shit. Like, no, I set it up so that everybody could know that like you did this shit. Like you're gonna lose the kids, like because she doesn't think that what she's doing is real. She thinks that they're in another fake world.
I wrote down a note about this that said, let's see, she is crazy enough to think that she's dreaming, but not crazy enough to actually file a letter with actual lawyers. It's just like, I'm still dreaming. Let me go to these dream lawyers that are we're having these conversations.
We all have dreams about lawyers.
Yeah, I just, if you were in Inception, what would your dream be? Mine would be like, fuck, I've missed another test.
Dude, I still wake up to that dream.
Wake up. Me too.
Dude, I've been out of school now for going on, I think 6 years. And I still have that dream that I have missed a final.
I've had the version where it's like, I registered for a class and then just never went the whole semester.
Oh my God.
Just like forgot to go. And I was like, oh shit, I forgot I was in this class.
I forgot I was in this class. I've never been here. Like I have to take a final so I can graduate. Like
those are so vivid. Okay. Yeah. Just sidebar. That dream where, I missed a final and I just failed the class. Caitlin Harris, Dex and I friend, she literally did that where she overslept.
Oh no.
And mistimed the day, or like she thought it was one day, went to the class empty. Literal nightmare. Like where it just empty auditorium.
Oh my God, that's my worst nightmare.
And she was like, "Hey, when was the final?" She goes,
"Tomorrow and not yesterday."
She goes, "The final was yesterday."
Oh my God.
And she started crying, like immediately crying. Like, but I mean, she
got to be in school for another semester. Like,
yeah. Long story short, she got to like take it for like a C or something like that. But this is the first time I've ever heard that actually happening. Oh,
that happened to somebody my senior year in like our final marketing class or whatever. And it was a dude that was in like my big group project group or whatever. and we all show up and take the final, and we're like, where's Jared?
Homeboy didn't show up. Homeboy was
somebody
not here.
somebody hit the group me and asked Jared where he's at, and then the next day he's like, why are y'all freaking out about the final? It's today, right? And we were like, no sir.
No, sir. That final's done.
Not even once.
We're already drunk. That final's over.
No sir. But yeah,
God.
he got to take it. He graduated and walked with us and everything like that. But we were like,
The panic. No, so it doesn't make a lot of sense, but and mostly because Leo whisper talks it into the camera about, I am planning an idea so far in her mind. It became a virus. And you're like, what?
I knew it was possible because I did it. I did it to my own wife.
One of my favorite things that's so passive aggressive, he's like, they think I killed her. And he goes, thank you for asking. Or not asking. Thank you for not asking. What? That I didn't. Like, bitch, did you?
I'm
Real
like,
suspicious.
It kind of sounds like you kind of did a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know why Ellen/Elliot Page doesn't follow up immediately with, wait, that was my next question. Did you do that shit?
Yeah.
Because I'm not I already know it already doesn't make sense that he went to a college campus and literally told the person within 5 minutes, like, what I'm asking you to do is not strictly legal. And she was just like, all right. Then you bring up that you may or may not have been charged with a murder, and I'm immediately out. Like, all right.
Also, in the most
out of here.
vivid dream she's ever had, his wife kills her with a knife.
And she immediately is like, fuck it, I'm back.
I love how it's like all heroin, because he's like, once you've had a taste, like, you'll come back.
For me, the insane part of her recruitment is like, he told you what he's doing is not strictly legal, but he asked you to draw a maze, and then he said your maze was a piece of shit like 3 times, and you just kept going. I would have been like, dude, fuck you. I don't care about this. Like, I'm going home.
I didn't understand. I mean, it's probably a Christopher Nolan thing, but like, he took the lines and she drew it on I didn't get why she drew it on the back. There's somebody smarter than me can probably explain, or somebody's screaming into their phone right now why, when she flipped it over and took the lines out of it, it made a difference. But I'm sitting there going like, what?
Nah, she drew it in a circle, so it's different.
So it's different.
I do like the throwaway of, okay, where the fuck did this dream technology come from, and why isn't it being more widely used except for by like petty thieves? And
don't they say they make it a military thing?
It's the biggest throwaway line, and Christopher Nolan knows this, of being like, military developed it, shut the fuck up.
Yep, like, no more questions about that.
That's why when the military developed it they could like fight and stab and shoot each other, and it wouldn't, like, what?
And
just
so,
some military weirdo enacting some weird fantasies in those dreamscapes.
You gotta think there's gotta be, like, if it's military shit, all the military people are like posting about the shit out the ass on Facebook. Like,
yep.
There's all those stupid, like, very specific ads, like, my son's girlfriend's daughter's dog's Marine, like, was killing people in his dreams. Like,
it's also got to be some real, like, Westworld vibes, some super illicit sexual shit going on in some of these dream packages. People are going to use those dream packages once they become available for sex, just like the internet became for porn. Like, it was
Teaches like Patricia Arquette, sign me up.
Okay, stop it.
They're getting in their avatar bodies and they're exploring.
This is quickly going to become Westworld.
I will say, though, about the military technology, I mean, it was answered after the fact, but because it was like, he goes to Michael Caine's character, and he sorry, I have to do that. He goes to that character, and who I guess is unnamed, which is, I guess, Maul's father, which why are they on good terms? And and is like, hey, you taught me how to, like, build these dreams. And the dude's like, I work out of a broom cupboard in a Paris college. Why aren't you a billionaire? Like, what is this? I was so confused by that, where he's like, why isn't this more popular? You're exploring literal dreams.
You must really love this teaching shit for you to just
like you're
be still
turning down the
doing this.
real bag. You could be making a lot of money if you can teach people how to create dreams and go into their dreams and people's dreams and steal information from them. Like you should be Jeff Bezos level rich right now, Michael Caine. Like,
also, what the fuck are you like? What are you assigning to these children that you're like, oh yeah, that one Elliot Page, she'll fuck up while you're like dream building shit. She'll make the best mazes you ever fucking seen in your life, kid. Like,
she's better than you, broke bitch. And you're just like, what? How? She's never been in here.
Yeah, why do you know that? What are you?
Elliot
what are you
Page
saying
goes
to
on
this
to make a
giant
lot of
class?
money in this field. Elliot Page went on to become the expert in this field. She made a shitload of money, I'm sure.
The sequel is him living on the island being like, Leo who, Cobb. Never heard of him.
Never heard of him, Cobb.
Limbo, bitch.
Yeah, she dominates Limbo. So I said this, and we talked about Leo being in these films because there's a stretch here with like Shutter Island and just a few of these films where Leo's like doing studio action, like non-Oscar worthy films. It's a weird stretch in his career. Let me bring up his IMDb.
Everybody loves Shutter Island, and it's
nope.
I think that that's an overrated Leo.
Yes, thank you.
Loves it.
I still never seen it. I was like, I don't care.
People get on my ass
for me.
It's long, and it is a journey, man.
People get on my ass every time I bring up my take about that, but it's just people are like, it's the best film. No.
My top 5 Leo movies.
Okay, so there's a stretch here where he does, of course, like Catch Me. Okay, he does Gangs of New York, Catch Me If You Can, The Aviator, The Departed, Blood Diamond, which he's nominated for an Oscar for, what have you. But then he does Body of Lies, Shutter Island, Inception. And of course, Revolutionary Road is thrown in there, so that's like the one for me film. But it has 3 films there in a row that are like, what? Like, what was that stretch? That's such a weird stretch. And then he follows it up with J. Edgar, which he guaranteed. He was like, I'm winning.
he really thought that was the he really thought movie for Leo.
I don't think I've ever seen that film.
It's not good. You won't like it.
But I'm glad he's in this movie because it like gives a little bit of validity to it. Because I don't know, like,
he learned to play a racist in order to do Django later. Is that how he developed his racist chops?
Well, who knows? Love and Basketball, probably. But the or no, not Love and Basketball. The Basketball Diaries, rather.
I'm about to say Leo is not in Love and Basketball.
He's in the Basketball Diaries where he's a heroin addict.
I was just imagining Leo just sitting watching Love and Basketball, like, oh yeah, I hate these guys. I can tap into this.
Enough of that. The
playing one-on-one for a heart. Fuck that.
Love and Basketball. Good Lord, Royden. The Basketball Diaries with Mark Wahlberg, actually. But I'm glad he's in this film because it gives a little bit of validity to it because there's a star in there. Like Tom Hardy wasn't a star at the time. Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in rom-coms and sitcoms. Elliot Page had been in Juno. Ken Watanabe's a star, but it gives a validity to this. If it was Christian Bale, it would probably do the same thing, but I think him being in this gives this a little bit more weight. But it's such a strange film for just Leonardo DiCaprio's in this film.
It's just a huge paycheck,
right?
And you know it's going to be a hit. But like that, I mean, that's why you do the film, because you're going to work with Nolan. It's going to be a hit, and the paycheck is going to be massive.
Yeah, but he picks and chooses his films so wisely. Even, I mean, he had a weird stretch there, like I said, that it's so weird when you see him in these
big time
blockbuster. Yeah. It's weird to me. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
I think it's because that he's made so much like genuinely good shit that we don't really see him as the big time blockbuster dude. Like we don't see him that way.
As the everyman actor, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we kind of view him as more of like an artiste. Like he picks these scripts based on the fact that he fucks with the character or that he thinks that he's going to do a good job with the character. And so when we think about it like that, it's hard to look back and be like, man, this guy was in Inception. Like,
yeah, I love the thing that he's done recently where he's become sort of the guy like Daniel Day-Lewis after he retired, where it's I do one movie a year.
Yeah, Leo's kind of like the actor version of what you talked about with Christopher Nolan, where it's like he makes Oscar movies for dumb people.
Yes.
Like,
yes. Yes.
yeah, like you can watch any Leo movie and be like, okay, yeah, I can see why people think Leo's one of the goats. Like I get it. Like he's one of those guys who can like break it down for you where you can see it, you know, like
also, he doesn't have time to make more than one movie a year because these 22-year-old women aren't going to date themselves. So he's got to find some time to do it.
God damn it.
Allegedly listening to podcasts while having sex with just supermodels because he's so bored. Allegedly.
But yeah, you know, like your Wolf of Wall Street, even your Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, like recently, it's like, oh yeah, I get it. Oscar movie for me. Somebody who just wants to look at a cool dude.
Okay, speaking of Leo, they've been in a couple of movies together as well, but Tom Hardy steals the show in this fucking movie. If we're talking about acting, just talking about any of the performances in this movie, TG said you don't like any of the performances. I think Tom Hardy is a revelation in this movie. I think he's so fucking cool. I think he's
Tom Hardy
so
is cool as shit in this movie.
I think he's so cool. I think he's slick as shit. This made him a movie star. You know, his agents watched this movie and were like, thank God. Oh my God.
Like we are in.
I could definitely see seeing him in this movie and being like, I can see dollar signs behind that guy. That guy's just cool. If I had to pick a performance that stands out to me, and like you said, Roy, I don't really love any of them, but I would take JGL. This is the first time I saw JGL, and I was like, oh, that guy's not just like a rom-com guy. Like he can actually like, because he's like so deadpan in this film. Like he's literally not telling jokes. He's not laughing. The only really jokey moment he ever has is like when he tells Ellen Page to kiss him, and he's like, ha, just kidding. Well, he's like completely deadpan. I was like, oh, that guy can kind of play those kind of characters, and it kind of worked for me. But I love Tom Hardy, so I can definitely understand like seeing him like, oh, that dude's gonna be big.
But yeah, my favorite Joseph Gordon-Levitt moments in this movie are all him being shit on by Tom Hardy being the cool guy.
Yeah. There's a universe out there where Joseph Gordon-Levitt gets all the roles that Tom Hardy has gotten since this. But also there's a universe where Joseph Gordon-Levitt becomes somewhat of an action star after this. He didn't take that route.
Thank God he wasn't in like Mad Max. He's too small to be in Mad Max. It wouldn't have worked with him.
He does some interesting projects. I mean, he was in that Project Power movie that was ass with Jamie Foxx.
I mean, I feel like people should just not be in Jamie Foxx movies at this point. Like that's a safe bet. Like just don't sign up to be in a movie that stars Jamie Foxx right now.
He wears a Saints jersey in that movie, but he was in Looper. I mean, he was in Trial of the Chicago 7.
Looper's good.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he is in Trial of the Chicago 7.
He played Edward Snowden, which wasn't terrible. Yeah, but he didn't do. Oh well, I mean, after this, he was supposed to be Robin. He's in The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah. He got
his name, that little tease is like, what's your name, Robin? Like, come on.
Yeah, but what something was supposed to come up that afterwards, or he was just
maybe I don't know. I mean, Nolan said he wasn't ever going to do anything ever again, but
I could see him as Robin if DC wanted to bring Robin in. I could see them hiring that guy. It makes sense.
Yeah, I can't figure out if Joseph Gordon-Levitt like fell off or if nobody ever really cared as much as we thought we would. Like with
he made a movie about porn and
Don John.
People liked it.
Because yeah, there's really not a whole lot here like recently.
I just gotta. I mean, the thing about Tom Hardy in this is we hadn't really. I mean, British people knew Tom Hardy, but he had done a movie called Bronson, which was art house sort of thing, but this projected him into, oh, this dude is,
This guy's a leading man.
yeah, this guy's gonna be the next guy because he's slick, he's hot, he's just funny. It was just all that stuff. The line about you have to dream bigger, darling, and he shoots the dude with a grenade launcher.
Fire.
Chef's kiss.
And you can literally another way of seeing the scenes in this film is like, we know Leo's the star of the film. He's in every set piece. But when you have to leave somebody behind at the different levels, like Tom Hardy gets his own level where he's the one left behind, so he's the one killing all the bad guys. JGL has a scene where the hallways are doing like this and he's got to fight all the bad guys. It's like, those are moments that are like huge. Like for 10 minutes in this action movie or for 5 minutes or whatever it was, like you are the action star. Like here is JGL, the action star. Here's Tom Hardy, the action star, for 5 minutes in this massive film that everybody saw. That stuff matters. That stuff's important.
Yeah. My problem with all of the action stuff in this is when they would leave these people alone or when they would do these huge set pieces. Like Leo standing back, all of a sudden the dream heist architect, one, is a professional sniper. I guess it's a dream. It doesn't really matter. But two, the guy who's supposed to be a thief, which is Tom Hardy, is also like a military expert and expert skier, gold medal skier.
Everybody can ski in this film. I just thought it was because they were white.
Yeah,
well,
I mean, is that not just what y'all do? Y'all just...
Yeah, I just think all white people are born knowing how to ski because everybody was like, yeah, sure, skis, let's do it. I'm on it. Like, and I was like, oh, that would have been real awkward if I was in this film / dream, and I can't ski, so it would have been real awkward.
I ski a lot.
Yeah, see.
But yeah, one of my favorite moments in this movie is Joseph Gordon-Levitt like levitating in the hallway and hitting this man with like an inverted triangle hold and choking him out in midair. I was like, dude, what a fucking sad way to go out. It's a dream and you're not real, but like if you were real, you would never let this shit down. Like you got fucked up like with an inverted triangle hold, like levitating in the middle of the hallway.
What if everyone that was dream security was also like just in their homes, like work from home program, but they're also like real, like level security, like Halliburton security.
Shots of them waking up at the
like,
security desk, like, oh, damn it, he got me again. Yeah, choked me out.
I can't believe that 175-pound man choked me out. The scene, they don't, it's really crazy when you watch it back because you see all of a sudden the thing starts to fall and you're like, what the fuck is going to happen? And it just goes in slow motion and Joseph Gordon-Levitt goes like this toward, like away from the camera. And it looks like he's on, I don't know how they did it, on wires or something. Cause it looks like they're in, when you see one of those airplanes that go up into the atmosphere, you know what I mean? It looks like they're in zero gravity. So I'm not sure how they did it, but
I was trying to figure that out too. I was like, man, how do they do this? It just looks so dope.
It was an interesting choice by Nolan never to flip the camera on its axis. He just followed them as they ran around the ceiling and stuff. If this was like a Michael Bay film or something, it's flipping with them as they're going. He just keeps it on one plane and just follows the action wherever it goes. And that's just where Joseph Gordon-Levitt's like crawling up the wall like Spider-Man. You're just like, oh shit. And you're just like,
that shit was so cool.
This movie is so cool. Like you just gotta let it happen to you. Like if you try and like figure out what's going on, you'll be like, that was dumb. Like I don't get it. Like, what the fuck is his wife doing here? Why do I care about this guy's dad and his deathbed? Like, this scene is too long, whatever. But if you just like let it happen to you, it's like, oh shit, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
The other people in that hotel room just trying to go get ice, they're just like, oh no. Yeah, but that's the whole thing, though. The emotional levity comes when you're supposed to feel bad for Cillian Murphy, a billionaire, breaking up his dad's billionaire company.
Also, they literally just like completely made a message come to him from his dad that actually was never his dad because they are just like projecting the dad. So
Yeah, your dad was definitely disappointed in you, kid.
Yeah.
Your dad was
In
very
the end, this
disappointed in
dude
you.
still needs therapy.
And your dad definitely does not want you to break up his fucking company. He wants you to get the fuck out of the way, let the company keep running like it was running before.
Yeah, he's even more disappointed now. He was already disappointed when he died, but in the
Now
afterlife, he's
even
like, "What
more
the
pissed.
fuck?"
He did what? I fucking knew I shouldn't have left it to that kid.
No way. Just screaming from the afterlife, from hell. God damn it.
Why was his, how do you say his name? Killian?
I think it's
I
Killian.
think it's
I always wonder why I don't see him in more stuff. He's got such like a
Sharp as
such a
John the
distinct
West.
face. Yeah, he's got such a distinct face.
I mean, he's Peaky Blinders.
I hate that show.
Okay, well.
I've still never seen it. I have zero interest, to be honest.
I didn't know he was in that show, but good. I want him to. I want him to do well.
He is that.
I want him to succeed. I just don't want to watch that show.
He's in every Christopher Nolan project.
He's got such a distinct face. Whenever he's on screen, he just kind of takes it over for a second.
We talked about Mal a little bit. We don't really have to talk about the Mr. Charles ploy within the second dream. I did say the third dream was literally like a Call of Duty episode or a Call of Duty level.
Yeah, I was fading a little bit there. I'm not gonna lie. It's like I'm starting to lose interest in all
I
this
hate every
shit.
second of that sequence. Every second of that third snow sequence is bad. And I love Tom Hardy, and I'm just like, God, why couldn't we have given Tom Hardy like some better terrain to work with and just fucking snow outfits? I don't want to see this shit. Put them in a high-speed chase and let me see him just fucking shooting people to the car. Like, Tom Hardy's way too cool for this. I just hated that last sequence so much.
Yeah, and something about like I mentioned in the group text that like Christopher Nolan will do action set pieces where there's like no blood and like really no violence or whatever. But something about doing that in the snow, I was just like, this is whack now. Like you can't just have these dudes like in coats, like getting shot or whatever.
Bro, we
Just,
don't
like,
want to see these fucking coats. We want to see them like
they're
in
all
some
in,
swaggy shit. These
they're
fucking
all
coats
like
are in the way.
big bubble coats, like in snow with no blood. It's like you gotta give me some blood splattered on the snow or something. You can't just like have people get shot and fall down. Like it's whack.
All right. Do we have anything else we want to talk about? I think we talked about this film at length. Oh, final scene. Let's talk about the final scene. Is the top still spinning? Yes, it is. Absolutely. Shut up. No, I mean it fell. I'm saying it fell.
Yeah, it fell. It's real. You see the
fell.
kid's faces for the first time in the movie. He's in reality now.
Yeah, it fell. Shut up. Christopher Nolan has said it, by the way.
He did?
Yeah, I think he's
Why
said it
would he do that?
because people kept asking him.
I don't know why he would do that. I think the genius of that ending is leaving it open. But I always thought that he was in reality as well. But just leaving it open was cool to me. I don't like that he went back and clarified it.
I remember the mind fuck of leaving that theater the first time, being like, dude.
Because if it's not reality, then like, what are we just like in another sub dream? Like we've gone up a level or something? Like, I think that most people took that to mean that he was still in reality, but it's probably more interesting if he's not in reality.
There's so many articles. If you just type in, did the top fall?
Yeah, and then you get all the people who are like, the point of the movie is that it doesn't matter whether or not the top fell because, you know, your dreams and reality, you're just, you know, whatever you decide that you want, like, nah, fuck that. He's in reality.
Just tell me what happened.
Fuck you.
Well, I thought he said that the top fell because he'd been asked so many times, but I can't find the article. But yes, yes. Yeah.
It fell. We back.
All right. All right. Movies that self-important movies draft.
Right after this ad break, brought to you by Apollo Media.
Right after the ad break. And let's go. All right. Welcome to live TV. All right. So the draft order, Dex.
I didn't make one. Fuck it. We'll just go Roy and Teach
I got
Dex.
the order. It's Roy and Teach Dex.
Wow. Okay. My first one is the one that we've talked about ad nauseum, at length. The Irishman. That movie fucking stinks. Sorry.
Why-
Yeah, I hate
I
that
didn't even
movie.
hate it, but it's so long.
That
Come
movie
on.
is That
It
movie
takes itself
is
so seriously too. It takes itself extremely seriously.
it is the
It didn't
most
have to.
Scorsese being like, remember all the people that you love.
And if you're gonna take yourself that seriously, you can't have Robert De Niro being 97 years old not kicking a guy.
trying to
We
beat
can
a guy's
see-
ass.
We can see that he's not kicking the guy. You filmed it and you blocked it in the worst way possible, so we can see that this nigga's old as hell and he's not actually hurting somebody. And you plop that in the middle of a 9-hour film, and it's like, come on, bro.
Bone
If we're
spurs
taking
were
it
coming
seriously,
out of
let's
his
just
ankles.
Fix this scene. Let's just fix the scene. Like, let's just, or better yet, let's just not even have the scene. Let's just have him threaten the guy and walk away. Like,
Use
are
a
we doing?
double. Use
Oh
young
my God.
actors.
The
Maybe
thing about
once.
that movie that always gets me and like the discourse around it is people who love it will be like, oh, it's an ode to all the other Martin Scorsese films. And it's him like,
I'd
like,
rather watch those.
yeah, it's like, why that doesn't make it better. Like, fuck that. Like, that's not cool. Why did
I'd
you
rather
do
just
this for
watch
3
those.
hours?
No,
Like,
thank
dude,
you.
just retire. Go sit down somewhere. Like, we get it. Okay, thanks.
I drove 2 hours to see that film because it was not playing in the small town I lived in at the time. I drove 2 hours to see that film, and then I had to spend another
Watch
8
it on
hours in the movie
Netflix like
theater watching that
another
film.
person. Like
And then
a
I
normal
had to
person.
drive 2 hours back, and it was on Netflix, and I was like, "Fuck that! I'm not watching it on Netflix." And then I was like, it was all right. I'm not sure if it was worth the 4 hours total driving.
I'm so glad it didn't win any Oscars. I was like, I realize
Yes.
it doesn't win shit.
Zero. None.
Because it got, I feel like it
Skunked.
got the most nominations. Or like
10.
close to
Yeah,
it.
10.
Yeah.
10.
And I was like,
Big
yeah,
ol'
fuck,
offer.
fuck that. Fuck, you don't deserve
Garbage.
shit. This movie
Garbage
sucks.
ass film. Fuck that movie. Sorry. That movie stinks.
With my pick is, with all due respect to Emma Stone, who I absolutely love and cherish and adore,
Oh
and I
no!
love her in almost
Oh,
everything.
no.
Don't do
The
this to
most
me.
self-important movie of all time is La La Land. That shit.
Fuck!
fucking
God
stinks.
damn it!
I fucking it. Oh my god, bro! Like,
I love this movie. This movie's great.
it takes itself so seriously. I just can't. And I have a thing. I have a very weird relationship with movies that are about Hollywood or movies that are about the movie industry or showbiz in general.
Because
I
you
just
live
have
there.
I just have a tortured relationship to them. Not even that. It's just because it's like, I think that as a filmmaker or as a TV maker or whatever you're making, it's just such a higher calling. Make something about literally anything else but your fucking job that you do. Like, come on. It bothers me. And so watching La La Land, which I had to watch, even though it became like the most white movie of all time because it was up against Moonlight, I had to watch it. And I realized why people liked it, but I thought it took itself too seriously. And generally speaking, when I feel like films are taking themselves too seriously, I'm out. I'm like, oh, you really think this is the best movie ever, and you are leaning into that, and it shows in right there in the film, and I hate that. So I wasn't really a big fan. Even though I love it, like I said, I love Emma Stone, love her. She's my favorite.
I love that movie right until Emma Stone's audition scene where she's like singing poorly
And
through
crying.
it. Like, I was like, this shit is whack. I'm out. But like up until that point, I love it. And then after that point, I love it again. But that scene is just so awful.
It becomes really kind of pretentious when they're like dancing into the stars and stuff like that. You're like,
Yeah.
all right. Can we get back to like the jazz shit where like white people explain jazz to us, please?
Yeah, it's just that one B movie. Like still
Like jazz?
You like jazz?
All right. Dex, 2 picks.
All right, so I'm gonna go with something that like just came out like last month, earlier this month. Time doesn't matter anymore. But the Snyder Cut.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is no fucking reason for you to make a 4-hour movie.
Oh,
30-minute epilogue, like that's
Hard
just sequel
agree.
bait for shit that's not going to happen. You did not have to do that shit. You're
What a
not
great
saving the
choice.
world.
as a
Like-
dare, as a bit, he made a 4-hour movie.
Like, dude, fuck that. Like, I get it. The like 17 Justice League fans, like DC Extended Universe fans on the internet demanded that this film be released. So you were just like, fuck it. I'm gonna just do whatever I want because the fans need me and they need my full vision of Justice League. But come on, bro. Like you do not have to make that shit 4 hours. Not everything has to be in slow motion. You're not like making some huge meta commentary about like, how we treat gods and what is like gods and all this other shit. Like, get the fuck out of here. Cut this movie in half. Like, you do not have to do this shit. Is it better than the original? Yes, because Joss Whedon is a criminal. But that shit did not need to be 4 hours long.
Oh, good pick, man. Holy shit, that movie's long.
Great pick.
God damn, that movie. I can't believe we watched that entire thing.
I would like to let all of our fans know that when Royden says we watched the entire thing, that I still have not watched any of this film, and I will never watch it.
Oh God.
Yeah, the Snyder Cut's against Teachers Religion, so he sat that episode out.
I refuse.
Oh my God.
But yeah, my second pick is a movie that I actually really, really like, and that has come up multiple times on this podcast, and Royden fucking hates it. Cloud Atlas.
Yes! God damn, I was gonna take that movie, but yes.
That movie takes itself way too fucking seriously.
As a bit, I was gonna take that movie just to piss you off, but thank God you realized that movie fucking sucks. That movie. That movie is the worst.
I love the movie, but like,
you've never seen it?
Oh, dude, it's one of those movies where they
18 hours
have,
long.
like,
It's 18 hours long.
They have
That
all
movie's
the actors play like
movie.
6 different parts. It's one of those.
Oh God.
So yeah, and
It's
like there's all these like other like timelines that are like kind of interconnected and they're out of order and like all this other shit. I really like it because I watched it in college with my friends, and it's like I
watched it in college with my friends too, and that shit stinks.
Dude, it takes itself way too fucking seriously. The movie thinks it's changing the world, and it is not. But
it is a non sisters Wachowski and what do you call it film? It is a non Matrix sisters Wachowski film. So that's how you know it's bad.
It's got Tom Hanks and Halle Berry in it, and no one cares. That's how you know.
Damn, that means
film
it's bad.
was not good.
The true.
Definitely know it's bad.
Fucking stinks, man. I haven't watched that movie since. I just know from 2013 that movie sucks.
I've seen it like 4 times. I have it on DVD, literally sitting in front of me right now.
Ugh.
My next movie also thought
do better for yourself. Take a walk. Drink some water.
I hate this film so much, and I also am anti Sandra Bullock. I'm not a big Sandra Bullock fan.
What?
I know where you're going.
Crash. This is the most.
Oh shit! Never mind. Sorry. Go.
This is the most. Oh, trust me, there are other Sandra Bullock movies you could choose from.
I thought you were gonna go with the space one.
I'm going with Crash. They gave this Best Picture. This film fucking stinks.
It does.
It is a very, very white take on race in America. It is awful. It's even worse if you go back and watch it now. I went back and watched it a couple years ago because someone made me. And it's even worse now with 2020 or 2019 lenses on. But it was even cringeworthy at the time. And I was like in high school when this film came out. And I was like, why do people fucking like this film? This film fucking sucks. But it takes itself extremely seriously. And people think it's good. And the only good thing about it is that they gave Don Cheadle a check. And I always want people to give Don Cheadle checks. So
deserves a king.
Yeah, a king. Other than that, this film fucking stinks.
Yeah, Crash is ass.
I just realized he and Lawrence Fishburne have never turned down a check.
Ever. That's what's going to be the fucking new Space Jam movie. He will show up.
I was watching Matrix and I looked at Lawrence Fishburne's filmography. He's been 130 projects. Like, good Lord.
We'll do whatever.
Get that money.
My next film or films, if you'll let me take them, if you'll be so kind, any Wes Anderson film, any of them.
Ooh, I like this take.
Any of them.
Wait. Okay, I like this take.
Yeah, any of them. We all film them from straight on. And everything's in a square and everything's bright and colorful. And shut the fuck up.
I'll be honest with you. I have never seen a single one of them. I've missed them all.
You've never seen one of them.
You've never seen Fantastic Mr. Fox?
Nope.
Wow. But that being said,
that counts as 2 choices because that I've seen a couple of his films and I feel the same way about all of them.
Do you want me that's 2 choices for me?
Unless you had another one.
Oh, I have a bit.
Go ahead.
The Godfather. It insists upon itself.
All right.
Yeah, it really does. But The Godfather banks, and you still haven't seen it.
Yes,
So don't talk
I guess
shit.
I don't disagree.
Nah,
But you haven't seen it. You can't do that.
Okay.
Well, you're right. You're not wrong, but still you haven't seen it. So you can't say that.
You can't do that.
You're gonna look at me. You're gonna tell me I'm wrong. The she wore a crown and she came down in a bubble, Doug.
That shit fucking bangs. So it deserves to take itself seriously.
Okay, I'll take this then. And Fight Me, but Fight Club.
Yeah,
that was my next pick. I will not fight you for that.
Yep. I like Fight Club. We've had this conversation a million times. It's a good movie. It is also toxic as shit, and yeah.
And people think it's really smart, and it's not nearly.
Yeah, and it's not. It's
not nearly as smart as people want it to be.
Nope. All right, Tej.
People are gonna not like this answer. And I will start this off by saying not only is this film amazing, it has an incredible cast, and I have a lot of respect for all the people involved in this film, including the director. And this film was good, and this film was a film I was like. But Magnolia takes itself way too seriously, and it has to. It takes itself so seriously. Much respect to PTA. It's a brilliant film. I love Tom Cruise, obviously. Julianne Moore, Philip Seymour Hoffman, the GOAT, R.I.P. Literally the greatest actor to have ever graced the planet. And William H. Macy's in that film. Who doesn't love William H. Macy? So I like Magnolia.
College review boards.
I'm not saying Magnolia is bad. I'm not. It's really good. It's a great movie. It's not going to be my first Tom Cruise movies because I'm watching all the Mission Impossible films before I get to Magnolia. But that's because I love Mission Impossible. Magnolia is great. It just takes itself so seriously. And it's just, you could feel it every time you watch the movie, but it's still
taking it over Vanilla Sky.
Vanilla Sky is also kind of self-important too, and it stinks, so that doesn't help. But Salma Hayek is in that film. So you win some, you lose some.
Dex, 2 picks.
Yes, all my picks are very recent because, like, I don't know, I'm just a recent movie kind of person. And actually, both of my next 2 picks are in black and white, and that like adds to the pretension of these movies. I'm taking The Lighthouse and Roma.
Yep.
Yeah. The Lighthouse.
Stream our Lighthouse episode.
Picks. Those are both great picks.
The Lighthouse, I didn't enjoy it at all, really, but
that's because it stinks.
It's not good, and it like people who I like and trust and I like read and watch their reviews all the time are like, The Lighthouse is one of the best, most original films I've seen in a long time, and blah, blah. And I watched it and I was like, this shit is ass. Like, I hate this.
I can't remember if we all gave that movie like a D. I think we all fucking hated
that film.
That movie.
Stinks, bro.
I was watching it and I was like, I want to enjoy this. Like, I want to be like one of those high-minded, like, critical movie watchers who's like, this is high art, and I understand like all the Greek mythology references, and this is so cool and smart and wonderful and black and white. But nah, man, like that
4x3.
He fucked a mermaid. Like, why? Like,
Bro, this dude was reading long form poetry, and I was just like, am I really sitting in here watching this? Like, I don't care that he like get me out of this movie theater right now. Like,
there's so much cum in that movie.
So much, it's everywhere, and I was like, "Why? What about this do you people like? What is there?"
So wait, did you hate Roma as well?
Nah, Roma I think is really good. It insists upon itself.
It insists upon itself, but I cried like a baby in that film. I literally cried like a baby in that film.
I remember being really, really sad, but I don't remember like what happened. Like as soon as I stopped watching the movie, like I was watching the movie and I was like, man, that's fucked up. But what happened? No, because it's in Spanish, it's in black and white, and it's like it's a very slow. It's very long. It's a very slow movie. It's not like plot based. It's all just like feel and vibe. Like it just like coats you in sadness. But I finished it and I was like, that was really, really good. I feel really, really moved. Don't ask me to tell you what happened. Like she got pregnant. Like somebody died. Like I'm lost.
That might be the most prototypical Oscar bait film I've ever seen. And
I thought it was going to win.
I thought I was going to win too, because I was like, I can't think of a movie more perfectly geared towards the taste of the Oscar voters. Great film, definitely insists upon itself. I agree with that.
Deej?
I love my next answer.
No, okay.
This film stinks, and a lot of people like this film. My favorite person that talks about movies like on a national level is Wesley Morris. He's amazing. He has amazing taste. He's been talking about movies forever. I really look up to him. And when he says a movie is good, I am in on the movie. And he sees the movies before I do, obviously. And he told me on a podcast that Waves was going to be one of the best movies released in 2019. And that is one of the worst films I have ever seen. And I pride myself on never falling asleep on movies and always staying in a movie theater. Like, this is right before the pandemic. I love movie theaters. I'm obsessed with movie theaters. I'm not ever walking out of the movie. I fucking walked out on Waves. That shit stinks, bro. I walked out on Waves before you even, like, right when you meet Timothée Chalamet's character, which is like an hour into the movie. I'm like, I'm out on this film. Like, that film fucking stinks. And everything about it is bad except for what's his face's performance, the dad, Sterling K. Brown, who's fucking awesome in this film, and everything else is a complete piece of shit. It's one of the worst directed movies I've ever seen, and I could not believe that Wesley Morris told me that not only was this film great, but like this film was going to like make Oscar noise. It did not. Everybody, like, a lot of people hated it because that shit stinks, but a lot of people really liked it. I hated every second of it. And it insists upon itself so much. Oh, it's just the worst.
Isn't that the movie that you were saying it was the black family, but it was written by the white director?
Yes, and you could tell, bro. Like, I should not be able to tell. I knew that the person who wrote this film was white, but I didn't have to look that up. You could tell by the way that the characters are written. Like, this is not a black family. The black person is not writing this family, and that I just have nothing but contempt for that film. So fuck you, Trey Edward Schultz. That shit stinks. And Wesley Morris, it's okay. I forgive you. You've given me a lot of gems and a lot of great movies that you recommended to me, but that particular one was not for me.
I remember when that came out, like, it was getting like, ooh, dark horse, Oscar contender, like buzz or whatever. And then it didn't get nominated, and I was like, okay, I don't have to watch it. And then you told me that it was some ass. I don't remember what podcast we had you on, but you said it was
Midsommar.
Ass. Yeah, and I was like, okay, great. I'm just never gonna do it. I don't have to.
We've kind of done this draft a little bit of movies we've never have to watch again. You've drafted that before.
Oh, I hate that film.
All right, I'm gonna go off the beaten path here. This is also a very pretentious director. He's made some great films, though. He has one that could also be on this list with Mother, but considering I haven't seen all of Mother, I will go with Noah, the 2014 Noah. That movie was some cheeks, dude. That movie was so pretentious. Yeah, like, I get that you can use a biblical story to tell a message. I get that. But make it good. It just like they sold it as one thing. They're like, this is the story of Noah. But also it's about climate change, you idiots. Fucking idiots. Fucking dummies. You're killing the world. This is about a flood. The flood is coming. And I'm like, God damn. Like, all right. And then there's just like rock people and just
that shit was ass.
Dumb. Like they took a really good concept and really good art and modern filming technology, which could have been great, and a great cast too, by the way. And they just were like, global warming.
That shit stinks.
They're just like, man, I came to watch the Bible movie. Like, give me the Bible movie. But there was some, I don't really care that much, but there were so many evangelicals that went to that movie like, what? They didn't want to. I didn't come to the movies for a message.
Both those films work. Mother and Noah both work in that spot. Great choice.
Well, yeah, and Mother is basically about like the Mother Christ nature, story and Mother Nature, and yeah,
Jesus, that shit stinks.
Ugh.
I will
God.
never watch that shit again.
Like eat a baby in that movie. Fuck that.
Just watch
Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence like go completely mad for an hour and a half, and I was like, I'm good.
Other movies on this list: Annie Hall. Yeah.
I almost threw that in there.
Let's see. I had The Artist. Fuck that movie. We all love this movie, but Midsommar is that bitch.
Hey,
Yeah.
we are not putting Midsommar anywhere near this list. I refuse. Refuse. That film is perfect in every word.
We gotta be honest about this though.
It's perfection.
Let's tell the truth here, Teej.
First of all, hashtag protect Florence Pugh. Second of all, that film is perfect. It is a perfect film. And there are no flaws in that film. I love it.
There are no flaws in the film, but Ari Aster is a very flawed person.
Yes, he did make something strange about the Johnson. So
oh God,
I can't defend that. But he literally made a perfect film. That film is a masterpiece.
That is Ari
I want
Aster
y'all to listen to
off
me
on the screen, dude. He is all over that film.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna fuck them up with this shit. Like
I
every
want y'all
single
to
scene.
remember this. I want y'all to remember in 30 years when you start to see Midsommar on these like 100 best movie ever lists, and so like number 33, you're gonna be like, how the fuck is that happening? I want y'all to remember that I told you at the time that shit is a fucking classic. That shit is genius, bro.
It's great.
With you.
We loved
love that shit.
I'm not even a horror movie guy, and I was watching that shit like this is fucking amazing. Like I don't do horror movies at all, and I was watching that shit absolutely riveted, like eight White Claws deep. But
when the camera turns upside down, it does feel a bit masturbatory for Ari Aster to turn the camera upside down. Like we don't have to turn the camera upside down at that moment, but that's fucking awesome, and he should have done it. And that is the greatest movie of all.
I'm going to make a tapestry that outlines the entire plot of the movie. They won't even see it coming.
These fucking idiots. I also added Drive. I love Drive, but Dex, you have different opinions.
Drive is pretentious as shit.
It's super pretentious. And also maybe every movie that stars him is pretentious, but we can go.
Ryan Gosling?
Yes. It's not his fault. It's the stuff they put him in.
God, he's so hot. I'll say that the Crazy Stupid Love isn't pretentious.
I got one that hurts my heart a little bit because I love this movie, but Booksmart, it thinks it's way more important than what it was.
Booksmart is literally super bad, but like if the people thought that they were 100% better filmmakers than they were, and everybody involved thought they were making the coolest, most funny movie ever. And I liked Booksmart. I liked it, but it's so pretentious. It like, oh.
But I love Booksmart. Booksmart like has quickly like risen up the ranks of my favorite movies of all time. I've seen that shit like 6 times.
It's good, but it is not as good a movie as they thought they were making.
About itself.
They thought they were making the best comedy of the last 15 years. Like
Olivia Wilde thought she was about to fuck them up when she dropped that shit.
Well, it's like we all loved it, but there's so many people there's so many people though.
A lot of people hated it. They
fuck
were just
that
like,
movie.
They hated it, or they were just like, I'm not gonna go watch that bullshit.
It's such a heavy-handed movie. It's such like a. And if you already
granted, this is 3 straight males talking about this movie right now.
That's true. That's fair. But it's like, even as somebody who enjoyed the movie, it was like, I definitely understood why some people were like, that movie turned me off. Like, oh my God, like I just feel like I went in there and got a lecture for 2 hours. I was supposed to laugh. I didn't laugh as much as I got lectured. But it's a great movie. I think it's good, but it definitely takes itself very seriously.
I'll say this. Movie that I was going to draft, but I just had to kind of let it go because it's not good. And also another movie that goes hand in hand with this, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, is the fucking worst movie that I've ever seen in my entire life. It's so goddamn bad. It
has the greatest title of any movie of all time. That's such a dope ass title.
And they have Tom Hanks in the promotion. They have him in every trailer. And then they go in, they're like, hey, he died in 9/11. And then you got to follow this autistic kid around until he finds a key. You're like, oh.
That film takes itself very seriously.
Wow. Okay. Was not planning to watch this biggest bait and switch in the movie. Also, that goes hand in hand with this movie. Remember Me with Robert Pattinson, where they're like, "Oh, by the way, he died in 9/11."
Yeah. I feel like there have been no good 9/11 movies, and we should just stop. Like, we should just everybody relax. It's
The one with
okay.
Nicolas Cage is fine because that's actually based on 9/11. When they use 9/11 as like the emotional plot device at the very end, where you're like, feel sorry for the guy that died in 9/11, you're like, what? That's manipulative.
Doesn't that Spike Lee and Edward Norton movie use 9/11, or am I misremembering it? What is the name of that movie?
I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what you're talking about.
There's a movie with Adam. There's a movie with Adam Sandler and Don Cheadle where his family died in that.
I can't remember the name of that Edward Norton Spike Lee movie. Anyway, I think I know it's set in New York. I think they use 9/11 as a backdrop, but everybody likes that film, but I don't like it. So I was going to give a good point.
This actually, I haven't seen it in full, but this actually makes a lot of sense. Birdman.
Yeah, seems
Hey
like
man, that film fucking slaps. I don't care.
one movie that fucking sucks that I'm surprised none of us drafted. Green Book. What the fuck?
I don't think Green Book takes itself that seriously.
I think it's just dumb.
I think it's just dumb. Like I don't think it takes itself that seriously.
They definitely thought they were fixing racism.
They thought it was funny.
Yeah.
They thought it was like they thought they were making a funny movie, and that's just not funny at all. Like
that movie,
I hate
it
that
stinks.
Shit.
I was watching it. I was
stinks.
like, if this movie came out in like 2003, I would have been like, okay, cool. But it's fucking 2019 or whatever the fuck that was. Like, get the fuck out of here. We've moved on. Like,
I hope Mahershala got paid very well for doing that film.
Apparently, the Academy hasn't moved on because they gave it Best Picture and they gave it like a bunch of other shit. But the rest of us,
they gave Mahershala the Oscar.
Yeah,
that shit is ass.
Oh, theater nerds, suck my dick across the universe.
I still haven't seen that one, but every theater kid that I know is like, "Oh, you gotta watch Cross the Universe. It's so fucking good." And I'm like, the Beatles don't slap. I'm good.
The Beatles don't make any good music, so I know this movie's not gonna be good.
On this list, though, Dex, a movie that we haven't done, the Southland Tales.
Holy shit! The Southland Tales takes it so seriously.
Oh my god,
that's an OG running podcast joke.
That is a deep cut. Holy,
for our original 7 fans.
Yeah. Also, I had on this as well. Any Terrence Malick film.
Oh my god, I had the same thought.
Waco native, shout out. I'm not gonna tell a story or write a script. I'm just gonna amuse you with pictures. Shut, dude. Write lines. What are we doing?
We also got to give a shout out to M. Night Shyamalan for just
his
entire career.
The fact that he didn't appear on this list is a miracle because everything he makes is so his potential is shit.
The guy that I forget is Lars von Trier, I think is his name. Guy that makes Antichrist, Melancholia. Oh, hold on. Yeah, Melancholia, Antichrist, the movie that made people walk out of Cannes. The house that Jack built, where the serial killer made the Nymphomaniac films. The weird one with Shia LaBeouf, but
the weird one with Shia LaBeouf doesn't narrow it down at all.
That is not narrowed down these films.
Nymphomaniac, go look it up. Yeah. God, I can't get over Garden State.
Garden State takes itself incredibly seriously.
Lost in Translation. I'm just reading off a listicle right now. Oh, here it is. This is the one I was looking for. American Beauty.
Oh my god, what a great answer! I fucking hate that movie. I could not believe that people were going all gaga for this film. First of all, Kevin Spacey's a creep, and he literally plays a creep in the movies, which is hilarious. And second of all, that film fucking stinks.
You think Kevin Spacey was like, hey, what if? And they're like, yeah, great artistic decision, Kevin.
Kevin Spacey walked in one day and said, "Do you ever feel like a plastic bag?" And they said, "Holy shit, let's run with that bag. Let's run with that shit."
It's like when you watch an episode of Criminal Minds and you're like, these are some fucked up people who came up with this shit. Like Kevin Spacey was like, you know what? Life.
They said, we're going to show you some tits in this movie and you're going to make people like it. And that shit stinks.
But we got 1917 and Skyfall. So
Oh yeah,
It
1917.
worked out. 1917 banks.
Nah.
How can you not enjoy that? I had so much fun at the movie.
listen to our 1917 episodes, like
I'm
our
not gonna
first
lie to you.
episode.
I fell
That
asleep.
shit was fun.
That shit was
Ow!
fire.
I was so stressed the whole time. I couldn't have fallen asleep.
That
My
shit
bad.
was big fire.
I was
I
not
was
stressed.
fuck out.
I was out of there a good like
Big
15,
fire.
20 minutes.
Big fire. All right. Let's wrap it up. Hour 47 in. All right, Dex. What are we doing?
We're hashtag supporting Florence Pugh literally all the time. Black Widow is so close. July. We are in there. We are here. We are fucking taking over. Also, we are shopping at ApolloHOU.com.
We are doing that.
We are out here with all the best Houston sports merch. Texans, Rockets, Astros. We got it all. Just general Houston merch. If you want to rep the city, we have that shit. And also, you can get 10% off and support the podcast by using promo code OneTakePod. That's ONETAKEPOD.
I'm about to go
Please.
talk some shit,
Dude, please do that so we can eventually, maybe, please get some merch on there. We will. I need a hashtag support Florence Pugh shirt in my life.
Yeah, do it. Support the pod, even
What
if
a
you're not
great
from
idea.
Houston. Just
Look at
buy
that.
some shit, and then eventually you'll be able to, buy some One Take podcast merch on that website.
I
Can you
will.
give them the website one more time.
It is Apollo Houston. Well, hold on.
Yeah,
I was
it's
saying-
ApolloHOU.com.
Yeah. It's ApolloHOU.com. I will say this, being a bad podcast host, but it is ApolloHOU.com, but you will find something regardless of your affiliation that you love on there. The designers of all those clothes it's just great color schemes, great shirts, great slogans, everything. Go ApolloHOU.com, promo code
One Take
Pod. All right. So support Florence Pugh. Thank you to those of you who have left a few reviews on the podcast on iTunes. That really does help us out a lot. I really do mean that. Thank you so much. If you listen to us on iTunes, or if you have an iPhone, please just go submit a Apple Podcast review. That will help us get up in the algorithm a little bit more, and so you can see our bright and shining faces a little bit more and hear more episodes from us. If you listen to us on Spotify, please go and follow us on Spotify. Thank you so much. We are coming up soon. We will be having a review of the entire Falcon and the Winter Soldier series.
Let's go! I'm so excited for that.
I'm gonna binge watch that when it all.
So good.
I'm gonna binge watch that when it all comes out. I haven't seen a single episode. Don't spoil it for me. Thank you very much. We're gonna do that. Dex, who are we doing that with?
The Duo Sports and Stuff podcast. My homie Deontay Epps, he's a fellow Baylor grad.
Mm-hmm.
Him and his homie do a great podcast where they talk about, sports and stuff. They get some really great guests on there too, but they're going to come on and they're going to talk Falcon and the Winter Soldier with us. I'm really excited about that shit because this show.
Ooh, I can't wait for that.
So stay tuned. That's in a couple of weeks. We will give you an entire recap like we did via WandaVision for that. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Stay tuned for that. Also on the horizon, we will have a crossover podcast with Derek Foltz and Stir the Plot podcast. We are working out the details on that. It'll be a massive podcast. Thank you to Stir the Plot for the support and Derek Foltz for the support. You listened to one of his podcasts. He said one of the bits was hilarious today.
Yeah, they opened the podcast with this army commercial bit, and it was the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life. Please go listen to Stir the Plot after you finish this episode.
It is worth the listen. Stir the Plot is an incredible concept. It's very, very funny. Go listen to them. We will have a crossover with them very, very soon. Thank you. Download, subscribe. We out.